If you ever wake up in the middle of the night during a storm and see someone standing outside your house in the rain, don't stare at them too long, because sometimes they're waiting for you to notice them, and once you do, they don't leave. My name is Ethan, and what happened to me during that stormy night in Oregon still keeps me awake years later. I've told this story only once before, mostly because nobody believes it. But after what happened, I never look outside my windows during heavy rain anymore, especially after midnight. It started on a Thursday night in late November, one of those freezing rainstorms that makes the entire world feel empty, the kind where the streets stay silent, and even the wind sounds wrong. I lived alone back then in a small rental house outside Portland. Quiet neighborhood, old wooden house. Nothing creepy about it at first. Honestly, I love that place. Until that night, the storm started around 9 p.m. Heavy rain hitting the windows hard enough to shake the glass. The power flickered twice during dinner. And by 11 p.m., the whole neighborhood looked dead outside. No cars, no lights, no people, just rain, endless rain. Now listen carefully, because this is where things started getting strange. Around midnight, my dog Max suddenly started growling near the front window. Not barking, growling, low and aggressive. That immediately felt wrong. Max almost never growled at anything. I looked over from the couch. He was staring directly at the front yard, completely stiff, the fur on his back standing straight up. A cold feeling settled in my chest instantly. I muted the TV and listened. Only rain outside. Nothing else. Then Max slowly backed away from the window, whining softly. That's when I stood up and looked outside myself. At first, I didn't see anything. Just rain pouring across the yard. The streetlight near the road flickered weakly through the storm. Then lightning flashed. And for 1 second, I saw someone standing near my mailbox. My stomach dropped instantly. Tall figure, completely motionless, standing in the pouring rain facing my house. I froze beside the window. Another flash of lightning lit the yard. The figure was still there, didn't move, didn't react to the storm, just standing perfectly still, watching the house, watching me. Now listen, this is the moment I should have called the police immediately, but instead, I convinced myself it was probably some drunk guy lost in the storm. So I opened the front door slightly and yelled out, "Hey, you okay out there?" The rain drowned almost everything out, but the figure slowly tilted its head toward me, and even from that distance, I could tell something about it looked wrong. Its arms looked too long, its body too thin, and it wasn't holding an umbrella, wasn't moving, wasn't even shivering in the freezing rain. Then slowly, it started walking toward the house, not running, not stumbling, just slow, steady steps through the rain. My chest tightened immediately. I slammed the front door shut and locked it fast. Max started barking wildly now, louder than I'd ever heard before. I backed away from the door, trying to stay calm, trying to think logically. Maybe some homeless guy, maybe someone mentally unstable. That's what I kept telling myself. Then came the knock. 3 slow knocks against the front door. Thump, thump, thump. Not normal knocking. Too heavy, too slow. Max kept barking violently beside me. Then suddenly, the knocking stopped. Silence filled the house, except for the rain outside. I slowly walked toward the hallway window beside the door, and carefully peeked outside. Nobody there. The porch was empty. Rainwater pouring down the steps. No footprints. No movement. Nothing. Relief hit me slightly. Maybe finally left. Then lightning flashed again, and my blood ran cold instantly. The figure was now standing at the side of my house, right outside my living room window, only a few feet away, smiling at me. My entire body froze. The figure stood only a few feet from the living room window. Rain poured over its face while lightning flashed behind it. And that smile, it didn't look human. Too wide, too still. Max started barking so violently he nearly slipped across the wooden floor. I stumbled backward from the window immediately, my heart pounding so hard it hurt. Now listen carefully, because this is where things stop making sense. The figure outside slowly lifted one hand and tapped softly against the glass. Tap, tap, tap. Not hard, almost gentle, like it knew I was watching. I grabbed my phone immediately to call 911. No signal. My stomach dropped instantly. That made no sense. The storm shouldn't completely kill service. I tried again. Still nothing. Then suddenly, the lights inside the house flickered. Once, twice. Then the entire house went dark. The TV shut off. The heater died. Only the sound of rain remained. Complete darkness swallowed the room. Max suddenly stopped barking. That scared me more than anything. Max! I whispered. No response. I grabbed a flashlight from the kitchen drawer with shaking hands. The beam lit up the dark hallway weakly. Max! Still nothing. Then I heard movement upstairs. Slow footsteps. My chest tightened instantly. I lived alone. Nobody else should have been inside the house. The footsteps continued overhead. Slow. Heavy. Like someone walking carefully through the second-floor hallway. Then came another sound. Water dripping. Drip, drip, drip. Like wet shoes moving across hardwood floors upstairs. Cold chills spread through my entire body. Now listen. This is the moment I realized the thing outside wasn't outside anymore. I slowly backed toward the staircase, holding the flashlight tightly. The beam shook badly in my hand. The upstairs hallway looked pitch black. Then lightning flashed through the upstairs window for half a second, and I saw it, a tall figure standing at the end of the hallway upstairs, motionless, water dripping from its body onto the floor, its head tilted unnaturally to one side. Then darkness returned instantly. I nearly dropped the flashlight. "Who the hell are you?" I shouted. No answer, only dripping water upstairs. Drip, drip, drip. Then suddenly, the flashlight flickered, and when the beam steadied again, the upstairs hallway was empty. The figure disappeared. My breathing became shaky now. I backed toward the front door slowly. I didn't care about my belongings anymore. I just wanted out of that house. Then Max growled suddenly from the kitchen. Low, terrified, I pointed the flashlight toward the kitchen doorway and froze. Wet footprints covered the kitchen floor. Large footprints, leading deeper into the house. Water still dripping from them. My stomach dropped instantly. Then I noticed something horrifying. The footprints were backwards, like the feet faced the wrong direction. Cold panic rushed through my body. Then from somewhere upstairs, I heard my own voice whisper softly, "Ethan." My blood ran cold instantly. It sounded exactly like me. Then my voice came again, closer this time. "Come upstairs." Max started whining beside me, backing away from the staircase. And honestly, I think he knew more than I did. Then suddenly, thump, something heavy hit the upstairs floor hard enough to shake the ceiling, followed by fast footsteps sprinting down the hallway upstairs. Toward the stairs. Toward me. I snapped. I grabbed Max and ran for the front door immediately. The footsteps upstairs became louder, faster, almost inhuman. I unlocked the door and threw it open. Freezing rain slammed into us instantly. I sprinted toward my truck parked outside. But halfway across the yard, I looked back at the house, and my blood turned to ice. The figure was standing upstairs at the bedroom window, watching me, its pale face pressed against the glass, still smiling. Then lightning flashed again, and suddenly there were more faces beside it. At least 5 or 6 figures standing inside the dark house, staring down at me, all smiling, all completely motionless. I jumped into my truck and drove straight to a gas station several miles away. I stayed there until sunrise, shaking uncontrollably. The next morning, I returned to the house with police officers. But something terrified me immediately. The house was completely dry inside. No wet footprints. No water. No signs anyone had entered. Nothing. One officer even looked annoyed. "You probably got spooked during the storm," he said. I almost believed him, until we reached the upstairs hallway. The officer stopped walking instantly. "What is that smell?" he whispered. "Rotten water. Like something had been soaking there for years." Then we saw it. Wet footprints, still fresh on the wooden floor upstairs, leading directly toward my bedroom. The officers followed them slowly, and when they opened my bedroom closet, everyone froze. Deep scratch marks covered the inside walls, long scratches, like something had been trapped inside, trying to claw its way out. Then one of the officers quietly said something I'll never forget. These scratches weren't here yesterday. Cold chills spread through my body instantly. I moved out 3 days later. But even now, during heavy rainstorms, I sometimes wake up in the middle of the night to soft tapping against my bedroom window. Tap, tap, tap. And once, during a thunderstorm last winter, I accidentally looked outside. There was someone standing near the street, motionless in the rain, watching my house, smiling. For weeks after I moved out of that house, I barely slept. Every time rain started hitting the windows at night, I'd wake up instantly, heart racing, checking every window in my apartment, making sure nobody was standing outside. At first, nothing strange happened. No tapping, no footsteps, no pale figure in the rain. And slowly, I started convincing myself maybe the storm had messed with my head, maybe stress, maybe exhaustion. That's what I wanted to believe, until the phone call came. Now listen carefully, because this is where everything got worse again. It was around 11 p.m. during another stormy night. Rain hammered against my apartment windows while I watched TV, trying to relax. Then my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost ignored it, but something told me to answer. Hello. Static. Heavy static crackling through the speaker. Then slowly, I heard breathing. Wet breathing. Like someone standing in heavy rain. My chest tightened instantly. Who is this? I asked nervously. Silence for a few seconds. Then a voice whispered softly through the phone. Why did you leave? Cold chills exploded through my body. I recognized the voice immediately. It sounded exactly like the thing from the house. Low, calm, wrong. I hung up instantly, my hands shaking badly now. Then my phone buzzed again immediately. Same unknown number. I declined it. Again. The calls wouldn't stop. Finally, I turned the phone completely off. That's when the lights flickered inside the apartment. Once, twice, then everything went dark. My stomach dropped instantly. No way. Rain hammered against the windows harder now. The apartment felt freezing cold suddenly. Then from somewhere outside, I heard soft tapping against the glass. Tap, tap, tap. My entire body locked up. The tapping came from the kitchen window. Slow, patient, almost playful. I grabbed my flashlight from the counter and slowly walked toward the kitchen. The beam shook badly in my hand. The tapping stopped. Silence filled the apartment. Then lightning flashed outside. And for 1 second, I saw someone standing on the fire escape outside the kitchen window. Tall figure, soaking wet, smiling directly at me. I stumbled backward immediately. The flashlight nearly slipped from my hand. Then came another sound, a soft creak from the hallway behind me, like someone stepping across the floorboards. I turned fast with the flashlight. Nothing there, but the hallway felt darker somehow. Wrong. Then I noticed water on the floor, small puddles leading from the hallway toward the living room, fresh wet footprints. My breathing turned shaky instantly. The thing was inside again. Now listen, this is where I realized it had followed me from the old house. I backed toward the front door slowly, trying not to panic, trying to think clearly. Then suddenly, the TV turned on by itself. Static filled the screen loudly, the volume blasting through the apartment. I jumped hard. Then slowly, a figure appeared through the static. Tall, pale face, wide smile, standing in heavy rain. The image looked distorted like old security footage. And then the figure on the TV lifted one hand slowly and pointed directly behind me. Cold terror exploded through my body. I turned around instantly and froze. The thing was standing at the end of the hallway, only 15 feet away. Its skin looked pale gray under the flashlight beam. Its arms hung unnaturally low. Water dripped from its body onto the floor, and its smile stretched almost ear to ear. But the worst part was its eyes, completely black, like empty holes. Then slowly, it copied my own voice perfectly. You looked outside again. My chest tightened so hard I couldn't breathe. The creature took one slow step forward. Drip, another step. Drip, drip. Then suddenly, all the lights in the apartment exploded back on at once, and the hallway became empty again. the thing disappeared. No footprints. No water. Nothing. I stood there shaking for almost a full minute, trying to understand what just happened. Then my phone suddenly turned back on by itself on the kitchen counter, the screen glowing brightly. One new voicemail appeared. Duration, 0:13 seconds. Hands trembling, I press play. At first, only rain. Heavy rain falling somewhere outside. Then footsteps moving slowly closer to the microphone. Drip, drip, drip. Then came my own voice whispering softly. Look outside. I dropped the phone immediately. Hearing my own voice on that voicemail nearly broke me because it sounded perfect. Exactly like me. Same tone, same breathing, same way I talk. But I never recorded that message. And deep down, I knew something horrible. The thing wasn't just following me anymore. It was learning me. Now listen carefully, because this is where the nightmare stopped feeling human. I didn't sleep that night, not even for a second. I sat on the couch holding a kitchen knife, while every light in the apartment stayed on until sunrise. Rain hammered the windows for hours, and every once in a while, I'd hear soft tapping somewhere outside, always moving, different windows, different walls, like something circling the apartment slowly, watching, waiting. By morning, the storm finally stopped, and honestly, the sunlight made me feel stupid for being so terrified. That's how fear works sometimes. Everything feels impossible in daylight. I almost convinced myself to move on until I opened the apartment door. Wet footprints cover the hallway outside. Large footprints, leading directly to my apartment, then stopping, like whoever made them never left. My stomach dropped instantly, and once again, the footprints were backwards, toes facing the wrong direction. Cold chills spread through my body. Then I noticed something else. Written on the wall beside my door in dripping water were 3 words. Stop looking away. I backed into the apartment immediately and slammed the door shut. My breathing shaky now, hands numb. Then suddenly, someone knocked softly on the door. 3 slow knocks. Thump, 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 exactly like the house. I stayed completely silent. Then came a voice from outside. Maintenance. Normal voice. Friendly. But after everything that happened, I didn't trust it. I slowly looked through the peephole. A man in maintenance clothes stood outside, holding a toolbox. Middle-aged guy. Completely normal looking. Relief hit me slightly. Maybe someone reported water leaking or something. I unlocked the door carefully. The man looked at me strangely. You okay? He asked. You look exhausted. I forced a nervous laugh. Yeah, rough night. Then his expression slowly changed. What's wrong with your hallway? He asked quietly. My chest tightened. What do you mean? The man pointed behind me toward the apartment hallway. There's water everywhere. Cold panic rushed through my body instantly. He could see it too, so I wasn't imagining things. Then the maintenance guy frowned suddenly. Wait. He stepped closer toward the wall beside my apartment, and his face went pale immediately. What the hell? He whispered. I turned quickly. The wet message on the wall was still there, only now more words had appeared underneath it. He let you see me. My stomach dropped hard. The maintenance guy slowly backed away from the wall. You need to call the police, he whispered. Then suddenly, the hallway lights flickered once, and every apartment door around us slammed shut at the exact same time. Boom! The entire hallway echoed violently. The maintenance guy jumped hard. Then came the tapping again. Tap, tap, tap. Except this time, it came from inside my apartment behind us. My blood ran cold instantly. The apartment door was still open, and inside, I could hear wet footsteps moving slowly across the floor. Drip, drip, drip. The maintenance guy looked terrified now. Someone's in there, he whispered. Then we both saw it. A tall shadow slowly moving past the living room wall inside the apartment. Too tall. Way too tall. The maintenance guy immediately grabbed my arm. We're leaving, he said fast. We hurried toward the elevator together. But halfway down the hallway, the lights shut off completely. Darkness swallowed everything. Then came the whistles. Low, soft whistles echoing through the hallway around us. My chest tightened instantly, because they sounded exactly like the whistles from the 4 stories you heard earlier. The maintenance guy whispered, Do you hear that? Before I could answer, something sprinted down the hallway toward us in the dark. Fast footsteps crashing across the wet floor. Way too fast. The emergency lights flickered on for 1 second. And in that flash, I saw it charging toward us. Long arms, pale, distorted face, black hollow eyes, huge smile. The maintenance guy screamed. We both ran for the stairwell immediately. The thing chased us through the darkness behind us. Its footsteps sounded wrong, like too many legs hitting the floor at once. We slammed into the stairwell and locked the heavy door behind us. Silence. Only our breathing echoed through the stairwell. The maintenance guy looked completely pale now. Then softly, he asked me something that made my blood freeze. How long has it been following you? I stared at him speechless. How you know about it? The man swallowed hard, then quietly said, because I saw the same thing 10 years ago. The second the maintenance guy said that, my stomach dropped. You saw it too? I whispered. The man nodded slowly. His face looked pale under the emergency stairwell lights. 10 years ago, he said quietly, during a storm exactly like this. Cold chills spread through my entire body. Rain pounded against the building outside while we stood frozen inside the stairwell. Then the man looked directly at me and said something I'll never forget. It follows people who notice it. Silence filled the stairwell instantly. The only sound was water dripping somewhere below us. Drip, drip, drip. Now listen carefully, because this is where I learned the truth. The maintenance guy's name was Victor, and according to him, the thing had existed for years, maybe longer. Nobody knew what it really was, but every person who survived an encounter described the same things. Heavy rain, whistling, backwards footprints, and a tall, smiling figure watching from outside windows. Victor explained that most people who saw it disappeared within days. Others went insane, but a small number survived, only if they followed one rule. Never let it inside, Victor whispered. My chest tightened instantly. It already came inside my apartment, I said weakly. Victor slowly shook his head. No, his eyes looked terrified now. If it was really inside, he paused. You wouldn't still be here. Before I could respond, we heard movement outside the stairwell door. Wet footsteps, slowly pacing the hallway. Drip, drip, drip. Then came the tapping again. Soft tapping against the metal stairwell door. Tap, tap, tap. Victor immediately stepped backward. Don't open it, he whispered fast. The tapping stopped. Then a voice spoke softly from the other side of the door. Ethan, my blood ran cold instantly. It sounded exactly like my mother, crying softly. Please let me in. Victor grabbed my shoulder hard. Don't listen to it. Then the voice changed again. Now it sounded like Max, my dog, whining and scratching softly outside the door. I nearly moved toward the handle before Victor stopped me again. It copies things you trust, he whispered. Then suddenly, the scratching started. Long nails scraping slowly across the metal door. Screech, screech, screech. The sound made my teeth hurt. Then the entire stairwell lights flickered violently, and for 1 second, something blocked the small glass window on the stairwell door. A pale face, smiling directly at us. Then darkness swallowed the stairwell again. Victor cursed under his breath. We need to move now. We rushed downstairs toward the underground parking garage. Rainwater leaked from the concrete ceiling, while emergency lights flickered overhead. The entire garage looked empty. Silent. Too silent. Victor led me toward his truck parked near the far exit. Then suddenly, I noticed every car window in the garage was covered in condensation, and written across the fog glass, over and over again, was the same sentence. Look outside. My breathing turned shaky instantly. Then the whistles started again, echoing across the parking garage. One nearby, another farther away, then another directly behind us. Victor froze, slowly turning around, and that's when we saw it, standing at the far end of the garage. Tall, pale figure motionless under the flickering lights. Rainwater dripping from its body, its black hollow eyes fixed directly on us, and its smile wider than ever before. The creature slowly lifted one arm and pointed toward me. Then in my own voice, it whispered, "You looked The lights exploded off instantly. Darkness swallowed the garage. Then came the sound of footsteps charging toward us. Fast, violent, inhuman. Victor screamed at me to run. We sprinted through the darkness toward the truck, while the whistles echoed everywhere around us. Closer, closer. Then suddenly, Victor stopped. I turned back for 1 second, and my blood froze. The creature was standing directly behind him, one long pale hand resting on Victor's shoulder. Victor's face looked completely empty now, like all emotion disappeared. Then slowly, he smiled, the exact same unnatural smile. "No," I whispered. Victor looked at me one final time. Then in a calm voice that sounded wrong somehow, he said, "Don't let it see you again." The lights flashed back on, and both of them were gone, completely gone. I ran. I don't even remember leaving the garage. I just remember driving through the storm until sunrise. I left Oregon 2 days later. New city, new apartment, new life, and for almost a year, nothing happened. No whistles, no tapping, no figure in the rain. I finally thought it was over, until last month. It was raining heavily outside around 3 a.m. I woke up suddenly for no reason. Then I noticed something glowing softly beside my bed. My phone screen. One new security camera notification. Motion detected outside front door. My chest tightened instantly. Hands shaking. I opened the live camera feed. At first, only rain. Heavy rain falling across the porch. Then slowly, a tall, pale figure stepped into view, standing motionless outside my door, smiling directly into the camera. And this time, Victor was standing beside it, smiling too. Smiling face with horns. If you made it this far, comment. I would never look outside. And don't forget to like, thumbs up, subscribe bell, and turn on notifications, because the next story might be even darker than this one.